Before the company, Vasco da Gama reached India. Long before the British East India Company set foot in India, another European had already cracked open the door, Vasco da Gama. In 1498, da Gama arrived on the shores of Calicut in modern-day Kerala, but he didn't discover anything, because India was never lost. What he saw wasn't a land waiting to be civilized. It was a flourishing trade hub, bustling with ships from Arabia, Persia, Africa, and Southeast Asia. The markets overflowed with spices, pearls, silks, ivory, perfumes, jewels, and advanced textiles. Indian merchants were literate, organized, and connected to global trade networks. The people he met spoke multiple languages, Sanskrit, Tamil, Persian, Arabic, because they didn't just trade goods, they traded ideas. This wasn't a land in need of help. It was a civilization operating at full power. And how was he received? At first, cautiously. The local ruler, the Zamorin of Calicut, was unimpressed by the gifts da Gama brought: cheap cloth, corals, and trinkets. To the Portuguese, it was wealth. To the Indians, it was junk. But that encounter gave Europe exactly what it needed: proof that India was rich and accessible, that trade could be controlled, and if it couldn't be earned through diplomacy, it could be taken. Within years, the Portuguese returned with guns, forts, and fleets. They began seizing ports, blocking competitors, and taxing Indian Ocean trade. Vasco da Gama's landing didn't start colonization, but it was the moment Europe realized that behind India's spices was a golden opportunity, and they weren't the only ones watching. By the early 1600s, the British, Dutch, and French had also entered the Indian Ocean, not as allies, but as rivals in a race to control Indian wealth. And out of that race emerged something far more dangerous than any king or army: a corporation with an army of its own. In the next section, we'll see how the East India Company began shifting from peaceful trade to ruthless domination, and how greed turned merchants into warlords.